D&D and tabletop RPG players alike, let's talk something that I kind of dislike for big bad guy battles. It's initiative. The one thing that I've definitely noticed about certain module bosses or just endgame content for D&D is that some big bad guys at the end of modules are just kind of sacks of HP that you hack and slash at until they hit zero. In terms of initiative, with bad guys who have big pools of HP, when they have their turn doesn't honestly really matter. So at my home table every once in a while, when it is the players versus a big boss or the end bad guy, I will forego initiative and have the players go first, and then the bad guy's turn is a response to what just happened to them. So when all of the players go before the big bad guy, they have an opportunity to work together or freedom to use their abilities during their turn. Now let's get to the reason why I have the Eldritch Lich here. The Eldritch Lich has an ability to use their reaction after they take damage to teleport a certain distance away. During a regular initiative, him having a reaction ability like that to teleport a certain distance away can be a problem and take away some player agency because the next player that's coming up might have been in the area to attack him before he teleported. But now that he has teleported, the player can't really do anything with their turn. But when your players are all working together, they end up coming up with some way to make that work, whether they are carrying or launching their friend at the enemy. And now we get to a very important part of the conversation. If you are allowing all the players to work together at once to be more dynamic in combat and work together with their spells and abilities and attacks, what do you do with the enemy to make them just as dynamic as the players? And one thing I have been doing for my big bad guys or boss characters for a long time, I give them legendary actions. And I'm not talking about at certain tiers of gameplay give them legendary actions. I'm talking about give your boss characters, all of them, legendary actions. Because here's my issue with boss characters in D&D 5th edition. For a majority, bosses have a little bit more HP, they have an upped damage dice for their weapons, and they can cast more spells than your traditional enemy. But if these enemies are truly a threat, shouldn't they just be able to do more? With the Eldritch Lich specifically, I gave them 3 legendary actions and 2 different uses for them. They could use one of their legendary actions to make a melee attack with one of their attacks, or they could use 2 legendary actions to cast a spell. And here's the thing, I am not saying do more damage to your players, I'm saying make your enemies more dynamic and don't have them just sit there. Give that Hobgoblin Warlord of yours a legendary action push or a reaction to raise their AC temporarily. Let the players formulate and think how to get around these abilities so that they can finally put an end to this threat. Anyway, that's just one lone Dungeon Master's opinion on the whole initiative and dynamic enemies. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what you do to make your enemies more dynamic. I'm a Winter Blaze, and I'll see you next time.